and we had some issues, some technical issues. My phone, which I use as my webcam, it conked on me. So let's just get that camera right. Now I borrowed the wife's webcam now, and I was busy getting the neck off. I've already released the screws for the scratch plate, but it's kind of stubborn in coming off, which it shouldn't really be, but not an issue. And I wanted to get the neck off anyway, so that's what I'm busy doing now, just releasing these screws here. Like all new guitars, these things are nice, they're really close fit, nice and tight, tight tolerances, they're not tight. And there we go. This appears to be some kind of a basswood construction. So now I can get the neck out of the way. It has been shimmed once before. Look at that little piece of paper. It doesn't do much at all. It's really not a useful shimming job. I like the construction. Beautiful finish on the wood here. Sorry, this does seem a little bit blown out there, but yeah. In real life, this wood is a lot more amber colored and very natural. When you look at the finish of this, it actually even looks like it's nitrous cellulose, but I'm pretty sure that this is a polyurethane finish, or at least a 2K finish. Lovely. I'm trying to get rid of the glow. Maybe if I turn off this big light here, that'll help. Yes, that's quite a bit better. Anyway, there you go. There you can see it. It's actually a really... You know what? I have a Mexican Fender Stratocaster, and I think that this is a better neck than what's fitted to that thing. And recently I was in a music store and I was playing through a few of the latest Squier Strats, Mexican Strats and American Strats, and I had a lot of niggles. I found so many things wrong with those guitars, and this is the flagship company. This is the people that started it all, but lately I think their quality controls just let go. They're not doing a good job, and Harley Benton is kicking their backsides all over town. The nut is nicely cut. Now, I don't know if that's a bone but it seems to be a fairly solid material, whatever it is. And just look at the finish of it all. It's really, really nice. These little lacing lines in here, this is called lacing. And it's just pretty, man. I had a 64 Strat, and this just reminds me of that. There's no skunk stripe, very much copy of the 60s. So truss rod installs from the top. Now, the only difference is, of course, with the 60s Strats, truss rod, there's no cover here. The truss rod was adjusted at the back there. So there's a deviation, but that's just to make our lives easier. So no complaints there. All right, let's get on with the show. Okay, now the pickguard has come out. So let me just get that nicely over there. And a little bit of protection over here. So now we can get a look. Excuse me. And see what's going on. Well, this is Alnico 5, that's for sure. I think it is. I can check on the website, but I'm pretty sure that's Alnico 5. Now, the flat work isn't made out of that fiberboard material. This is just plastic, so that you can see that it's more budget. However, the wiring is nice. The pots are of a decent size too. Normally these budget guitars, they have these tiny little pots. The only real clunker here would be the position switch, but even the pickup selector switch, it doesn't stick out ridiculously far like on a cheap Strat. And I'll tell you what, you go to the store and you look at Squiers now, that pickup selector switch is at least 6 millimeters higher out. The knob sticks out higher. It just looks and feels plasticky, where this feels just a whole lot better. The pots feel good too. They feel maybe not quite as good as CTS or what's the other one? The other big American maker. You know what I mean. Anyway, they don't feel quite as good as that, but they are pretty good. See here, the dude had a bit of issues getting some of the old protective skin off of the pickguard. No problem. We'll get onto that. And of course, if you really want to do it right, you want to get these knobs lifted off as well. And all the little tiny details. Yeah, get that all cleaned off. It's no big deal. All right, so we'll come to that. Let's have a look at what else is going on here. There's the wiring, 2 wires going to the jack plate and 1 to the tremolo claw. That looks fine. And even the setup of the tremolo seems to be quite correct. Just a little bit above the guitar body on the front end over there. Not easy to see from this angle. And I like that they've routed this with the idea of having some pickup options. So of course now we can see that a humbucker, see if I have one laying close by. I don't think so, but a humbucker will go in there quite easily if that's what you wanted to do. And of course it makes one one selection for all. Right, so here I'm stroking this bit of wood here. I'm just having a good look at it. This is very much, looks a whole lot like basswood. And basswood is really not a bad wood for guitars, for electric guitars. It seems to be very consistent, very nice to work. You can see that the finish, the neck pocket is properly routed. There's no gouges and unevenness and everything. The only problem is that with the neck in this, the neck pocket as it's routed at the moment, the angle is wrong. Now we can go 2 ways with this. I can work away some of this wood and get the angle to go a bit lower, but I think I'm going to do the other thing, and that is to use some of this stuff, which is a thickish clear plastic. I don't know where I found it, but I found it somewhere. And I've been using this as shimming material. You can see I've cut it out in a number of times. And I've also used it to mix up some adhesive. That would be, some, I don't know, speaker. That was actually speaker cone adhesive, like a rubber cement. But now it's going to be cut to size and turned into a shim. We see how we go with that. So I just want to trim away what I don't need so I can get it nice and straight.
Hey everybody,
and oh boy, something is happening on my other YouTube kicker there. Let me just shut that off. All right, there we go. What else is going on? No, nothing. Right, let's check that out. So that's cut. I never throw anything away. Actually, I'm a bit too much of a hoarder. But there we go. That's now something I can work with. And I just want to make a rough little line as to where I want to cut it. So kind of there will be fine. And how much of it? About, I want to conceal it inside of the neck pocket, so maybe so much of it. A little scratch there. Yep. Okay. Just making sure that my scratch is, yep, that is it. It's hard to see when you're having fun. So there, my other little scratches there. Right there, I believe. The scratch came out a bit weaker than planned. Yeah, that lays in there pretty nicely. And just round off the holes so it will go a little deeper. Or the holes, listen to me, the corners, just cutting the corners around here. You know what they say about cutting corners, right? So let's have a look at that. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then the next thing, I need to find my little pointy one, which I think is down here. So I've got to just make some holes. I'm not finding my little pointy one. So it'll have to be my smallest screwdriver. Give me some holes. So I've marked my hole positions, and I have a tool just for this job. Of course, locating the tool just for the job. is another matter. There it is. And I'm going to need to go with the biggest hole. There it is over there. Okay. And that's the one over there. Let's give it a go. Squeeze like hell and then turn, and it's free. And again. Just got to set that dot. All right. How are we looking? It's pretty good. A little bit off. I wonder if the other way was better. No. It's a little bit off. Anyway, let's see how that, I think it'll work anyways. Put that boy away. All right. So now I'm going to close you up because I'm quite okay with those Roswell pickups and things. That looks all right. I'm going to dust that off. Just a little. My dusty broom. Right. That's fine. I could also give it a blast of air, but that will just make my compressor want to recharge and make noise. So I won't be doing that right now. And something is not being compliant. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. What's the hold up here? Hey. Seems to be rocking around the middle here. Now there's a wire bundle that doesn't really know where it wants to be. Okay, that's good. And we'll put 2 screws in just to make it stay in place, right? Definitely not the right screwdriver for that job. Let's go back to the big guns. So that's 1. That's 2. That seems to line up the neck pocket. Feeling down here, there's a bit of a lip on the plastic here, which could probably be filed away because it might actually be interfering with the good snug fit of the neck. It could be sort of pushing the neck in a bad way. So there's that. What did I do with my plate? Wrong way, right way. Okay, that's good. And now, ye neck plate. So yeah, you may find yourself needing to do a job like this, getting your neck angle correct. Once this is in, I will show you the result. I don't know, I might need to come out and do it again, depending on how much correction my shim actually achieves. So screws go down, and I always bring up the upper screws first on the higher portion of the guitar, because that angle is really going to be determined here. And I'm just nipping them up, and I turn kind of gently and carefully. I want to feel the neck screws. Sorry, my elbow's blocking you. I want to feel the neck screws going into their older threads. Of course, these are wood screws, but they do actually create a thread in the wood. And I try to relocate them into that thread by feeling the way you would with a conventional machine screw, just so that See, now this one doesn't feel right. I don't know why. That feels better. That last little bit is a bit tight. Okay, let's check that out. The other thing that is non-60s is they've got this plastic sort of gasket underneath the neck plate, probably just to protect the finish and sort of even out pressure. I don't know if that has an effect on guitar tone or not. I have no idea. But we'll find out, I suppose. I probably wouldn't find out because it wouldn't be known. So now again with the ruler, and this time it's a little easier because I don't have any strings in the way, and that is now really, really close to the top of the fret. I'm going to call that good for now. And I'm going to string it up again and see how that action has turned out. So let's do that. By the way, this is the second video because the first video, my camera died on me while I was busy doing it. My cell phone battery was pretty low to begin with, and I connected it up to the charger, but obviously that charger didn't win that battle. So I had to come back in here with number 2. So let's get these strings back on. A little bit of a tangled mess, but yeah, not too bad. I'll just start with one low E and get it separated from all of the others. Ooh, some of these were really inserted in a strange way, I've got to say. No worries. Okay, well, E is free. So, yeah, and I promised I'd show you what I'm doing here. This is why I really like these type of tuners, is because of the ease of restringing. So check this out. There's my wood block. There it is. I just want to get the neck raised up a little bit while I do this job. Okay, I think you can see that. Yeah, that's looking good. So the string is going to basically be trimmed away, and we normally cut it about just so you can't, from where it's going to go in, you count 1, 2, and about a half, cut the end off. Then you take that end and you pass it down the hole, right down the inside over here. And then you let it take its position. So just like that. And of course you would be winding it around, and always wind clockwise around the post to lead off to the nut. Sometimes people install it backwards, especially new people who are not really experienced in stringing guitars. Sometimes I'll put it on backwards, and then you've got to turn the tuner the other way to bring it up to pitch. So always ensure that it's going clockwise. For Fender guitars, always on a 6-a-side sort of arrangement like this, it's going to go clockwise around the post. And then we can bring it up. And just by eyeballing it, that looks really, really good. That looks really good. And let's bring up the next string, and we'll continue this process. So again, down and out and around. Looking at these posts compared to real Clusons, these posts are a little bit more roughly manufactured. They're not quite as refined as real Clusons. A lot of acoustics to this guitar. Acoustically, it sounds pretty good. It really resonates, and I think that they probably took a page out of the old Japanese Fenders and Squires that came out, because those guitars, basically, Fender got a shock when their budget line was outperforming their high line back in the 80s. I had one, and I think it got stolen. No, it didn't get stolen. Yeah, no, it did. It got stolen. But my dad also had one, so I ended up gigging with his one till I could afford to buy one of my own. looking at these frets, the frets are fine. I see there's a little bit of roughness here. But they'll play in. I'm not going to get very excited about that. A fret dress, or at least a fret polish, would probably make this guitar also just an ace. Especially as like a backup guitar, you with a good setup, it would be a really good backup guitar. But I'm not a. I do a bit of gigging, and I'm in a pretty successful band. Pretty much as part-time musicians go, semi-pro musicians go, we're fairly successful. And I wouldn't have a problem using this as my main instrument. In fact, I have another Harley Benton that I actually use instead of a Les Paul, and it's one of those little Telecaster type TE40, I think it is. And I've got to say, it's a marvelous little guitar. It doesn't sound quite like a Les Paul, but it gives you enough that you can get away with it. And in the studio, you'll know the difference when you're doing more exacting work with the guitar and that. Yes, you'll know the difference. But when you're out just playing on a gig and there's people around drinking and partying, carrying on, man, they're not going to know. They're just going to hear like ZZ Top and start rocking, They really are not cork sniffers of the guitar world for regular day-to-day fun weekend type gigs, right? So here we go, last string coming on. And there's that. I just want to tune it up. That's about an E. All right, let's get a look now. Oh, this action. Let's get a look. Just want to check that the strings are nicely down the length of the neck. It seems like this neck might want to just go a little bit that way. That's why I haven't fully tightened up the neck bolts yet, so that I can get these strings, the neck aligned inside of the slot as good as it's going to get. And of course that's going to pull it out of tune, and that looks about right. So now I can pull up the neck bolts. To their final grab. Which is also going to raise that action slightly, but that's fine with me because it's a tad on the low. That's E flat. No, that's actually about as good as it's going to get in the state. I'm sure it can be tweaked, but for the effort that's going to go in, I wouldn't be doing it. Right, so that's there. And I think I can safely now put these screws back in. So let me just swing that down that way for you. There's a lot of light on there. Let me try and get rid of some of this light. That's a bit better, I think. Gee, that's really heavily overexposed. And it's probably because of the dark background that it's overexposing like that. But never mind, we'll live with it. And let's get the screws back in. These screws always just go in finger tight until they stop turning. Don't go any further, because this basswood is pretty soft, and eventually they do. They just the grip in the wood is lost, and then you've got to go and plug it up and refill it. So be real gentle when tightening up these screws. Turn them in till they start offering some resistance, and that's where you let go. That's really enough. All right. I would like to have like one of those faded mint green pick guards on there. I think that would be a lot nicer. I have to say, under the camera, looking at the camera, it already looks pretty good. But first of all, I do like the white, black, white, or mint, black, mint pick guards. I think they just look nice. So that's the way I would spruce this up, and maybe even the pickup covers. I would go with those yellowed, minty colored things, because I doubt that these will ever change color. Maybe in 20 years or whatever. So that's all closed up and done. Let's see if my phone's charged up and we can tune it up to proper pitch. Well, it's already up to 23%, which is already a lot better. Old Galaxy that I use in the workshop, you can see it's had better days, but it does a fine job. I just allowed it to go flat, which was a bit dumb. And what's next? I suppose a little test would be interesting. So let's find a guitar cable. I've got a real cheap junky one over here somewhere. Here we go. Put that in there. And I suppose you might like to see my guitar amp. My little workshop test amp. It actually is not a good example of an amplifier. It's a tube amp that I made. I modified an piece of electronic test equipment to become a tube amp. And actually the amplifier part of itself is insanely good, but the speaker is a disappointment. It's a little, I don't know, 3-inch speaker or 4-inch speaker. But let me introduce you to my little Frankenstein. Just get the wire off here. So that's the back of him, or it, whatever you want to call it. That's the front. So yeah, there it is. Isn't that cute? So I've got a volume on off and a tone control. And I'm going to just set it over there. Maybe I can angle it back. You can kind of get a bit of a better look at it. Not much of a better look, but slightly better look at it. And I need a plug, which will be, where are you? There. Come on. turn it on. Needs a bit of warm-up time. Plug it in. There she goes. Now, I want to try and bring it a little bit further over for you so you can see it, because it actually has a little magic eye on it, which is kind of fun. So the magic eye acts as a level meter. Now, I've got no idea why there's no audio coming out of here. Oh, it's still warming up. Oh, there's the gain. A little bit of feedback. I need to modify that design a little bit. All right, so now tuner time. Where are you, Mr. Tuner? Can't find my apps. Where's my apps? Huh? Where are my apps? Ah, here we go. I don't have a tuner on here anymore. Why not? That's weird. Ah, there we go. Tuner. The tuner. All right. Okay. Allow. Not now. Tuner. Let's get a listen there. It says. I figured it was flat. Well, yeah, you can nicely see the tuning action as well, which is not a bad thing, huh? So we're going to get a look at the intonation as well. Oh, that wasn't fun. Why'd you do that? Just trying to get it in here. Okay. Oh boy. Still settling in. So let's check the intonation. That's a little bit sharp. No, just a little bit sharp. And my screwdriver is hooking on. So when you do this intonation, you'll want to slack off that string a bit. Bring it up. This time I'm giving the strings a really good stretch. And that's slightly flat now. So I overdid it there. It was really close. So maybe like a quarter turn, going back, Stretch it up again. Oh, that's gone sharp again. Oh, that's good. That's fine. And the A. Give it a stretch again. Yeah, that needed a stretch. Look at that. And what? That is something really weird going on here. I think it's hearing the hum, because there's quite a bit of noise in this room, which I can't get away from. I'm not liking that. I'm going to come back to that. Because that intonation is not as far out as the tuner says. See that? It's giving E. What in the heck is going on here? That's my G. Give us a G! That is ridiculous. I can hear that's a bit sharp. Okay, I want to just get this repositioned, because I've got a feeling that it's picking up the hum in the background from this amplifier. So I need to do something about that so that I can only be dealing with the guitar. So let's try that again. So now I have a nice solid G there. It really is giving me trouble, isn't it? Which is really strange, because normally this app is super good. I've never had trouble with it. And you can see I've been giving the strings a stretch, because these are obviously the strings that came with the guitar. Which is already probably not the best thing, because they sure are not the big brands. Guitar, 6-string, standard. Something horribly wrong there, man. Something really horribly wrong. Let's do this. Let's just turn you off. Okay, that's working real nice. All right then, I'm going to restart this app. I'm just going to shut everything down. Hang on. Close all. Start the app. That says it's 1,000 cents off. Let me see if I can choose something else. Automatic chromatic tuning. That's the one we want. Let's try it like that. That's better. All right. I'm going to go back to with the amp. Crank it up. So when you're doing intonation, don't use the guitar setting. Use chromatic. That's the secret. All right. Just wait for that amp to warm up and start again. Sorry, you know, this is live. And when it's live, it's live. There's nothing you can do about it. So that's only about 2 cents sharp. So I'm going to give it a real small turn here. Okay, and still a little bit sharp there, but there's hardly anything in it. It's actually got really nice sustain. Sorry, I'm just working that tuner. It's a little bit stiff in some places. Okay, I won't mess anymore with that. It's 1.5 hertz. Also, it wants to come up down just a little bit. So if it's tuning sharp, you've got to go a bit deep, longer. So tighten the screw, pull that saddle back. That's good. That's like bang on. Now that one is a little flat. Let's bring that G a little bit further up. Well, now not. Now it's right. So D, on. A. I think we've done it. Well, that E could come back a little bit more again. Bravissimo. Okay, so that's in tune. Where did I put my guitar pick? It was along here somewhere. There it is. Let's make a bit of a noise. So now you're going to get a slight look at me. You know, other middle-aged fat man playing guitar. So here we go, huh? Yeah. Give it a bit of dirt. Yeah, you hear that's the speaker letting me down there. It's not bad. Huh? Tone. Nice and woolly. Huh? Make it real squacky. Well, it's staying in tune. It's sounding good. I'm going to have to take it upstairs and put it on something decent to hear it. So thanks for sticking around. See you in the next one. Where's my mouse? Bye for now.